Well, this morning, there's a lot of places you could be, and thank you for wanting to be here with me right now. Today, I want to share with you my personal approach to reading the tarot cards. And as you all must know something about the tarot cards, otherwise you wouldn't be here, there's this perception that there's only one way to read them, and if you don't read them that way, it's not right. But honestly, tarot cards are tools to help us access our own subconscious, our intuition, our own divinity. We all have a little piece of the divine inside of us, and the cards help us tap into that. So the subconscious speaks in symbols and metaphor, and that's what's on the cards, right? So we're going to work with the Rider-Waite cards today because they tie in with astrology and the Kabbalah. Y'all are familiar with astrology, I'm sure. Please come on in. But the Kabbalah is like schematics for our soul. And it starts off with cosmic consciousness, God, whatever you want to call it. And you go through the Kabbalistic tree of life into human. And we can also go up the tree of life to touch the divine, but we can manifest by using the tree of life. And one of the tools on the tree of life is the tarot cards, and the Rider-Waite in particular. So the difference, I hope you know, but if you don't, there's a difference between tarot cards and oracle cards. So the tarot cards, well, let's start with oracle cards. Oracle cards are a symbolic piece of our psyche that gets put into a picture, and when you look at that picture, you can tell a story to yourself, and when we tell stories, our own truth starts to come out in storytelling. It just helps us access another part of our mind. So like an oracle card could be that beautiful painting right there. But the tarot deck is a much more ancient system, and it's got the major arcana, arcana means mystery, and the minor arcana. So the major arcana, there are 22 of them, and here's 2 of them right here, the Sun card and the High Priestess. And the major arcana are karma cards. They're a path through life and different things that we all must go through for our soul to achieve its purpose. And so that's the major arcana. Then we have the minor arcana, which are 4 suits. And the 4 suits, cups, wands, swords, and pentacles. Cups corresponds with our emotional self. The wands corresponds with our willpower, our passion. Swords is like the mind. A sword is double-edged. And if our intellect is not colored by emotion or passion, it can be very dry like a scientist, And then the pentacles are a material, physical life. So you take those 4 suits, and then there's numbers associated with each suit, 1 through 10, and each number represents something. So 1 is new beginnings, 2 is relationships form, 3 you get some stability, 4 you're really solid, 5 everything falls apart, 6 you get back on track, 7 lots of choices and you have to use your intuition, 8 like on the home stretch, 9 almost there, 10 complete. That's in a nutshell. And when we're done, I know, right? You don't have to remember all this. I have handouts, cheat sheet, with everything you want. Because if you want to read the cards intuitively rather than the specific meanings that each deck is for, you want to be able to break it down into its components. So today we are going to pick cards. I have 3 Rider-Waite decks up here. And we are going to choose a card, and I'm going to do a guided meditation, which I also have for you to take home. You'll do a guided meditation, and you'll go into the card. And you'll look at the elements of the card. But the first thing we have to do, before you do any card readings, let me make sure to blast through something I should have mentioned. No, I'm getting there. I like it when I can remember everything I wanted to say. So I hate reading it, but I need to remember. Setting an intention is really important. Any of you who had a reading with me, the first thing I ask you to do is set an intention. One thing. You've got a million things on your mind, but you're not going to get a good answer if you don't pick one thing. So I'm going to invite you all. I have some notebooks and some pens if people didn't bring a notebook and pen if you didn't know you needed to. You can, does anybody need a notebook? Need a pen? Need something to write on. Okay. Oh, jeez, Louise, did I really have to have it? Of course I did. There you go. Please, whoever gets that one, watch out. Anyone else need a notebook? Or else you can rip a page out and share. What do you need? Okay, and you got pens? Okay, we're good? So just kind of quiet your minds and just allow the first thing that pops into your mind to be part of your intention, because that's what's going on in your subconscious mind. Like a short statement. Give me more information about my life's purpose, or tell me what I need to know to make a good decision in whatever situation it is. I'm already going into that trance state. Hopefully it'll affect you all in the same way, just calm and quiet and clear. Another 30 seconds or so. Let that intention formulate and just let it flow right through your hand, through your pen, and onto that paper. Okay. Not a yes and no thing, but a who, what, why, how, an expansive thing so the universe can fill in the details. Does everyone have an intention? Who does not have an intention? Okay, we're good. That felt really good. You guys, I just feel like we're all here in the same vibration. That was awesome. You don't even know me. This is great. So just some things to think about. Like, these are two major arcana cards. The High Priestess, and this is the Sun. What stands out for you in the High Priestess card? Anybody? What's the first thing that catches your eye?
The headdress.
Her headdress. So that has a traditional meaning, especially with the Kabbalah and astrology. But what does it mean to you? Like, if the first thing that caught your eye was the headdress, when we do the guided meditation and the card that you pick, you let the first thing that catches your eye draw you into it. Because your subconscious has something, it's going to work on your intention. So the imagery in the picture will tell you a story that will be the answer to your intention. So she's got this interesting hat on. She has a solar cross on her chest. She has the Torah in her lap. These pillars are the pillars of Solomon, and the white one is the pillar of compassion, the black one is the pillar of severity, and she sits in the middle, meaning we integrate our subconscious and our conscious mind. We integrate compassion, but you can't be compassionate and or nicey nice all the time. Sometimes you have to be severe, but if you have the right intention, we call it wrathful compassion. Sometimes you have to dish out some tough love. If anybody has any addicts in their family, you can't just give them everything they want. So you use both sides with your own wisdom, and the tarot cards are here to help us develop our own wisdom, our intuition. So that's just, and then she's got pomegranates in the background. What does that mean? It has a traditional meaning, but what does it mean to you? And that's the difference between intuitive tarot reading and using the book and looking everything up. You really want to learn to tap into your own intuition because it helps you every day, not just spiritual. It's like, should I turn left or right? I can give an example of there was a situation I needed to see, and I normally take one way to go to this place that I like to go, but for some reason I took another way, and there was this situation I needed to see. And if I had gone the way I always go, I wouldn't have seen that, and I wouldn't have learned what I needed to learn from the situation. And I've just been reflecting on it, like, wow, I usually go this way, but this time I went that way, and then I saw this thing I needed to see. And it reminded me, it's like, oh great, I'm going to share that with you guys today, because this is how it works. The more you learn to pay attention to the subtleties in your mind, you will get put right where you need to be. You know the story, The Secret? Mm-hmm. This is part of The Secret. The Secret's a very simplified version of the Kabbalah, of how life works. Very simple for people that have not been introduced to that way of thinking. So yeah, when you start to tap into your intuition for the knowledge, the wisdom that it is, you will get the answers to your questions. Just saying. Here, so this is more like subconscious and deep, and look at this one's completely different. What's the first thing that stands out to you in this picture?
The sun.
The sun. And what's the look on the sun's face?
Happy.
This is a happy card. Look, I've got goosebumps. I had this tarot card as my Facebook profile picture for a whole year because I wasn't feeling like this. But the energy that is wrapped up in the sun card, and the baby naked on a horse holding a flag, and there's 4 sunflowers in the background, it changed me. It's cognitive behavioral therapy. I put an intention into this card, and I stuck it on my Facebook profile. And let me tell you, when the Lyft guy or the Uber guy comes to pick you up and they're looking at your Facebook picture, they're like, I'm like, I know, it doesn't look like that. That's okay. But you see what I'm saying? It's like, and then here's another card, and then we'll get going, because it's only 45 minutes here. This is the moon card. So you've got the sun, but you've got the moon overlaid. You've got 2 pillars. Where have you seen 2 pillars before? So I'm getting goosebumps telling you guys about this, but the 2 pillars represents a place that you want to go between. And there's these little yellow drops coming down, and you've got a dog, and I've got a wolf, and a dog, and a crayfish crawling up out of the water. What does that mean to you? When you have your intention, and you look at that card, and you allow yourself to go into a light trance, you tell yourself a story, and then you write it down, and you will be surprised at how uncannily accurate your own mind can give you information. So when I do card readings, I'm not going to tell you your story. I'm not going to tell you your answers, but what I will do is show you how to use your own intuition and subconscious to answer your own questions. Because our subconscious, our intuition, taps us into God. It's like the piece of divinity inside of us. So when we learn to use our intuition, go there at will, meditation is about going to that place. God, the Akashic record, excuse me, superconsciousness has all the answers. Our job is to figure out how to tap into it. And the reason I'm teaching this class is because I figured it out in a way that makes me so excited. I was telling you, Jerry, I have to tell everybody, yay, let's do this. So does anybody have any questions before we start? Good? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this over here for right now. I've got 3 decks of cards, and I'm going to put one of them face up and the other 2 face down. And I want you guys to come up and either pick a card without looking or pick a card with looking that is going to help you with your intention. So, there we go. So these are, yeah, and go through them and look. So you've got choices. Yeah, everybody come on up and grab your card, because that's what we're going to use to meditate on.
And just take it and go back.
Yeah. Yeah, because what you're going to do is sit and look at it while I do a guided meditation. And you're welcome. Yeah, there you go. Ooh, we're on time. These are decks too. Yeah, it's just, yeah. So everybody gets a chance to get a card. With the spelling here.
Powering on. Charging.
How can I do this? I get too in my head.
Going how you feel.
No, I gotta not look. I gotta go by I feel my head.
That's right.
My head's too active.
Yeah, me too. We all learn how to get into that space, and it's, there's not one way to meditate, there's not one way to tap into your intuition, and there's not one way to read the cards.
Shut my head off, I'd be happy.
What's that?
I said, shut my head off and I'd be happy.
Yeah, you know, there's something to be said for what's going on in your mind, though, especially if it keeps coming up over and over. Instead of trying to quiet it down, it's like, turn and look at it. What are you here to tell me? Some information, you know, because you just keep filling up my head. And you start writing down what's in your head, it'll quiet. Because then you'll be able to look at what's wanting attention and start addressing it. But that's a whole other story there.
You might need that story. I got a granddaughter. She's a devil.
Oh, honey. Come talk to me afterwards.
Okay.
All right, so
Are we meditating first before we break?
we are going to meditate and go into the card,
Yeah.
and then we'll come back out, and then you'll journal your
Right,
experience.
right.
And the meditation is about 10 minutes long. Okay, so
I think I like my card.
you want to pick another one?
Oh, can you?
You can do whatever you want. Yeah, pick another one. Or maybe have both of them. Want me to pick one for you? Oh, the Tower card. That better? Okay, here we go. So I invite you all to put everything away except that card, and hold that card in front of you. And uncross your legs, put your feet flat on the floor, and just softly gaze at the card that you chose for today's meditation. And while you're doing so, keep your intention at the front of your mind. So let all thoughts go out of your mind except that intention. Those are very important because your thoughts are very powerful. If you choose one thought, your intention, as you look at that card, they'll start to interplay with each other. Now I invite you all to focus on your breath, now that you've gotten comfortable, and begin to breathe in and out through your nose. And as you breathe in and out through your nose, you can notice the sensation of your breath. Very cool as it comes in, and then it's warmth as you breathe out. Please continue breathing and focusing your attention on your breath and that sensation of coolness coming in and warmth as it goes out. And at this stage, at this point in time, as you begin to relax, you may notice thoughts coming up. But just be the observer and let those thoughts pass in and out of your mind like white puffy clouds on a summer day. Your mind is the beautiful blue clear sky, and those thoughts are the clouds. Now shift your attention to your body. And as you breathe in, feel that oxygen going into your bloodstream, giving you life energy. And as you breathe out, allow things that no longer serve you to simply be exhaled. Breathing in the strength and vitality, breathing out what you no longer need. And as you breathe in, begin at the top of your head, allowing that breath to relax you, feeling relaxation in your head, jaw, down your neck. Feel that relaxation going down through your shoulders, down through your arms, torso. Beautiful relaxation with every breath. Down through your hips now, through your legs. Feel that relaxation flowing all the way down through you, all the way to the tips of your toes. So peaceful, so calm. So relaxed. And once again, you might notice thoughts coming up. But just be the witness. And let those thoughts be like clouds on a warm summer day, just floating by. Now I invite you to gently open your eyes and bring your attention to that card that you chose. Gaze softly at this card while you take 5 deep breaths. Focusing on your intention. Just notice the images in the cards. Now, as you gaze at the card, I invite you all to visualize and imagine that it is growing larger and larger, until the figures and the imagery are almost life-size. You'll see yourself stepping into that card with your intention in mind. And look around you. What do you see? Who is in that card with you? What objects are present? What colors stand out? Now take a moment to pick an object in that card and reach out and touch it. Notice its texture. Can you hear anything? Just allow yourself in that card to notice any sounds that may be going on around you. Take a moment to smell the air. Are there any fragrances or scents that you can become aware of? Is there something in that scene that you might be able to taste, even if it's just the air? imagine that you, yourself, are one of the figures in that card. Become that person, like acting. The person may be a person or an archetype of some energy that you need information from. Become it. What does it feel like to be that figure? Step into it. How does this character think and feel? How do they move and behave? Do they have any words of wisdom regarding your intention? Now imagine yourself speaking as if you are that character. What would you say regarding your intention? Some advice to offer, perhaps? Now take another look around you. You inside this card. What makes you feel good? What gives you energy? Is there anything in that card that makes you feel anxious or concerned or upset? And if so, just notice where you feel that sensation in your body. And if you do find that place, just allow yourself to relax that tension. Let it melt away like butter in the hot sun. Now look at the different objects and symbols in the card now. How can they be used? What are they there for? What do they mean to you? Now take one last look around you and see if there's anything that you noticed that you didn't notice before. Your work here is almost complete. Give thanks and say farewell to the characters and the objects in this card. Remove yourself from that character that you became. Step back out of the card. Visualize and imagine it growing smaller and smaller and smaller until it's back in its normal size. Take a moment to acknowledge the work that you've done and know that you can come back to this place at any time by doing the steps we did here today. And in a moment, I am going to invite you back to this room and this reality, bringing with you a wonderful sense of calm, peace, and deep understanding, with complete clarity on the information that you learned about yourself today. Moving towards wakefulness, becoming aware of your surroundings. Stretch yourself, wiggle your fingers and toes. Take a nice deep breath in and welcome back. Take a few moments to journal your experience. Give yourselves another 2-3 minutes, and then we will do a short question and answer. So the importance of journaling, like right after your experience, is like trying to remember your dreams. Because what happens is you go into another side of your mind that you don't usually use, and then when you're there, it's like your dreams are so vivid, right? And then when you wake up in the morning, you're like, what did I dream? And this is kind of the same sort of thing. It's like lucid dreaming in a way. So you have to journal it because you have the subconscious experience, and it's very emotional and somatic in a way in your body, and then you bring it back and you write it down, and it goes from kind of not making any sense when you write it down. It's like, Oh my goodness. And if we had more time, we would share what we wanted to share. And when you tell your story, that's when it's like the aha happens. And that's the process. That's how you mine your subconscious to help you in your conscious mind. And this is fun stuff to do in circle. And this is how shamanic journeying works as well. Set an intention, beat the drum, let your mind, but you don't have images to work with. You just like free flow in your mind with your intention. That's a whole other story, and I like doing that a lot too. So does anybody have any questions or anything that they would like to share that was of significance to them? Did people have good experiences? Yeah. I can see the look on your face. You're like, so just like in a word, how was that?
It was pretty incredible.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely spectacular.
Wow.
The more, at first my mind started to step in and ask, is what you're seeing the answer you wanted to hear? But then the experience became so vivid and so rich and so true and so real.
Yeah.
And then it colored in,
Yeah.
It started to fill in.
Yeah.
And it was very positive.
Yeah.
Very positive.
Good.
And I'm also interested about what the traditional meaning of the card would be. It's a 7, the chariot.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure, underneath the wings there's a dreidel. I'm not sure, to me it was like a tetrahedron.
Yeah.
A portal to out-of-body travel and experience.
Exactly.
There was so much in this card.
Well, the Rider-Waite has a lot of alchemical symbols, hermetic symbols, like Hermeticism. That's Western traditional mystery school, like Hindu and Tibetan Buddhism and other, and Christianity as well has all these symbols that are a part of a body of knowledge, and it's called the mystery school because it's hiding in plain sight. The more you learn the meanings of the symbols traditionally, and then you interpret them for yourself, that's where you really start tapping into your soul's purpose. Like the great work, this is like a baby step towards you understanding your life's purpose and your great work.
So for continuity, to see how the traditional meaning, because I don't have a clue, they may be oracle cards even though they're called tarot cards.
Yeah.
They're fairy and they're angel. They're Doreen Virtue and Rudy Valentine.
Yeah, those are good ones.
Okay, good.
So that is the chariot.
Okay.
And it stands for control, willpower, victory, assertion, and determination.
And?
Determination. Like, I'm going forward. Yeah. But that's why the images look the way they look, to represent that quality. So does anybody else have any experiences I'd like to share?
I'd like to know what the traditional is for temperance.
Oh, temperance. Temperance is balance. Temperance is like the angel's got 2 cups. And it's just balancing your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, your passions versus what you know you're supposed to do. Temperance, balance, moderation, patience, purpose, meaning. Just like what the angel looks like it's doing. And the angel means your higher self, your guides. Yeah, or whatever. Sometimes you'll get something coming through that's like one detail, like some of those cards have like a little salamander or a cat. And there's a whole card, why am I focusing on that cat? Rather than question that, you allow yourself to go where your mind leads you, because that's your subconscious talking to you. And the more we learn to listen to our subconscious, it really helps the quality of our life. Like you with your family stuff. It's not about them, it's about how you learn to love them unconditionally, but have boundaries. I love you, but I can't accept that behavior. So it's loving without having to get all judgmental and stuff like that. Let's see, what time is it? We have time for a couple more questions or experiences anyone would like to share.
I'd like to know what the traditional is for Ace of Swords.
Oh, Ace of Swords. So if anyone got aces stand for the elemental energy. Swords is mind. So the Ace of Swords is about your potential to think things through very clearly. Ace of Cups is like potential for emotion before it turns into something. It's like unmanifest. It's like potential. And you've got the 3 of Wands. Everybody's like, so Wands is your willpower and your motivation. And 3 of Wands is like, look at him. They're all standing straight. The 3 wands are straight. He's got his hand on one and he's looking back to us. You're contemplating. It's like, I'm starting to get my willpower focused. I'm looking for the next step. That's how I interpret it. But you can go on, and you can all go online and find the meanings, all kinds of.
8 of Wands? 8 of Wands?
8 of Wands, what does it look like? A ladder?
Well, yeah, I didn't, that's not what I got, but yeah.
Keep going. Yeah, it just means you're motivated, you're on the path, you're like on the way.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
almost there.
King of Cups. So the court cards are like personalities. So the page is like a childlike innocence in whatever the suit is. So you've got King of Cups. So King is like a very fatherly, masculine way of dealing with emotions. So rather than being a woman, feminine, like the Queen, and making other people think it's their idea when it's really your idea, the King is like in your face, masculine energy. I'm a female, I run masculine energy all day long. It's been a problem for me over the years, but it's a tool. Like, oh, I need this kind of strength in this situation. You look at that card and you bring it up. And then when you're done with it, you know you can put that emotion away.
Do you treat your, the suit cards and the karma cards, the arcanes, do you treat them individually or do you mix them all into one? And what is your, do you do Celtic Cross? What's your favorite form of reading?
I use my intuition to tell me, depending on who the sitter is, depending on the situation. I've got a million spreads, and the thing about the spreads is you can make them up. You can make them up. You assign a value to each position, and then you can either have your deck all in one piece, you can split it out, you can split the major arcana and the minor arcana. You can do whatever you want, but the trick is to use your intuition. That's the thing, the takeaway I want you guys to have is your intuition is how you interact with the cards. And if your intuition tells you to use the traditional meanings, then you use those. Or ideally, we make our own tarot cards. The more you learn to use them, you use your own subconscious symbols and metaphor to make your own card. They sell blank card decks to do that. Wow. I know it's kind of advanced, but people spend 5 years making their own tarot deck so they can understand themselves. This is psychology. This is not magic, but magic is psychology. Magic is our minds and learning to harness it to make the world be the way you want it to be, because you're clear on how you feel and you're clear on what you want. So setting an intention and going into the card is a way to learn to manifest the destiny that you would like. All right, so I want to thank, oh, what do you got there? The Empress. Why does that not surprise me? What does she look like? She's just like,
Lovely young woman.
and she's got a heart, and it's got the symbol of the woman's symbol on it, and I think that represents you. In your full, and it's a karma card. The Empress is like the queen. She has everything that she wants, and everyone around her is touched by that energy. That's an archetypal energy. The mother, more than the mother, like the abundance of being in our femininity. We bring life into the world, right? That's that energy. That's why it's got a heart on it, and it's got the Venus sign. It's just all about feminine energy and attracting the things that we need to make life good for ourselves and people around us. All right, so
One last one.
Yes.
What does this one mean?
Oh, the Tower card. You know, I'm going to tell you guys right now, there are no bad tarot cards, unless you want them to be. The Tower is about breaking down old constructs. And it can be, and the Death card as well. The Death card just means change.
Yeah.
Change in state. Tower card, you got lightning striking the tower, and you've got fire, and the people are falling out of it. But you also have symbolically, you've got these little flame-looking things. They're called yods. In Hebrew, a yod is a blessing. So symbolically, if you use the Hermetic traditional alchemical symbols, you'll see that as you destroy your old construct, the people are falling. They're not going to get harmed. They're just going to not have that structure anymore. But what's coming along with the tower falling down are blessings. You just have to see them. So it is kind of scary. But when this card comes up, I'm like, don't freak out. What do you got going on in your life that needs to just completely come apart and you're holding on to it? You don't want to let it go. Bam! Okay, I don't have to worry about that anymore. It happened. Now what do I do? But does that make sense? Does that help you?
This is because, I mean, I've had readings before, and does it make a difference if it faced up, or face upside down or not?
Yeah. So the cheat sheets I'm going to give you have the upright and the reversed. And that's a choice you make intuitively. When I'm doing 20-minute readings, I use the Celtic Cross, which is 10 cards, because I want to see the patterns in the cards, and I don't use the reverse. That's me. Other people do it differently. But the reverse is kind of a different set of meanings. And even the image looks different. Never mind the meaning, it just looks different. So when your subconscious looks at it, it's going to tell you something else. Yeah.
Okay, when you shuffle, do you just shuffle as a deck so that you're not turning anything upside down, or do you take them and shuffle Vegas style? Doesn't matter.
Well, I have arthritis in my thumb, so shuffling is not working for me anymore.
Then a lot of them get upside down if you shuffle.
Oh yeah, they're
Vegas
upside
style.
down. So when they come up upside down, I just turn them right side up.
Okay.
Because that's what I feel like doing.
Okay.
So you can do that, that doesn't make a
There's no
difference?
rules.
Okay.
It's just when you sit with your intention and you think, okay, how do I want this spread to go? How do I want this reading to go? You make your own rules right there. And that's really how it goes.
And what is my intention is obvious. If I'm reading for myself, it's one thing. If I'm reading for another person,
That's where you clear your mind and you kind of do like a soul connection with that person by holding their hands, clear your mind, look at them, and just, your intention is like, what kind of spread do I want to do for this person? And it'll come. It'll be like in the corners of your mind. A little image will come, or the answer will just come, clairaudient or clairsentient. And by the way, the clairs, clairvoyance, clear seeing, clairaudience, clear hearing, there's a clair for each of your senses. So we have our 5 physical senses that tell us what's going on in this physical world. And we also have the same senses in our psychic side that we use when we close our eyes and imagine. When we imagine, we create the world. And so we use those senses on that level, and everybody's going to have one sense that's stronger than the other. I'm like clairsentient. I'm also clairvoyant, meaning I can close my eyes and see stuff, but I just get a knowing. And you don't need to do it, you can do it every day. This is like a practice, like meditation practice. It's a practice until you get the feeling of being in touch with your intuition or being able to focus, and then you just go through life constantly in a state of meditation, just paying attention rather than having those voices and that talk, pulling you out of being present. So, okay, I need to wind it up to be respectful of the next person. Thank you all for coming. If you want to get on my mailing list or get in touch with me for private circles or whatever, I have a little table upstairs. And if you'd like to give a love offering to pay for the cost of the room, that would be great. Thank you so much. Oh, yes.
wonderful.